Hello, my name is Moses Bryakov, and here's my flashcard. Okay, here goes the speech. Hello, my name is Moses Bryakov, and I will be discussing the benefits of transitioning to electric vehicles and why this is super important for the environment, and without also impeding on people's rights. So the main purpose of this speech is understanding why electric vehicles are so important and how this benefits the environment down the road. So have you ever wondered what it would be like to be able to see cities that used to have large amounts of smog and pollution and all of a sudden have clear skies and everything's just nice and clear and everything's breathable? Within within decades to come, this can become a new reality with electric vehicles. So in order to ensure this kind of reality, we need to be able to transition to electric vehicles, and at the same time, this becomes a new commodity that everybody uses as a mainstream thing. With improvements in technology, electric vehicles will become very reliable and also much more common to use. So one of the relevances of electric vehicles, why this is so important, is that many states, many cities like Los Angeles, Beijing, and even Sacramento has such large amounts of pollution that basically it's really difficult to be able to breathe, and children most of all receive the most suffer most from this. So for my credibility is I've done extensive research regarding this topic, and at the same time I understand most of the trends that are taking place. So for my claim, with help of the government and at the same time with also bringing awareness to the situation of electric vehicles, I believe the transition to electric vehicles will become much more quicker and seamless. So for the needs is understanding that although global warming is an issue, I believe impeding on people's personal rights of being able to what they want to drive and what they want to do with their lives is much more important. And that's one of the reasons why the Green New Deal never worked out, even though this is one of the things. So although no country has officially fully transitioned to electric energy, countries such as Norway are really successful, and they have over 55% in electric vehicle sales, which is really high and staggering. So one of the ramifications is that according to Vital, outdoor pollution causes more than 3 million deaths a year, more than malaria, HIV, and AIDS. And this stat is expected to increase over the time. So you might be wondering, so what, cars produce such a small amount of pollution? Why should we care about car pollution? The reason why is that according to the WHO, road transportation is estimated to be responsible for up to 30 to 50% of pollution in major urban city areas. So this is for urban areas, and most people live in cities, not in the countryside. And although we won't be directly breathing in this air, and at the same time we won't be directly dying from this, many people are suffering from respiratory issues. If you haven't noticed, a lot of people are suffering from asthma, which is much more frequent as we notice nowadays. So according to the NCBI, long-term ambient air pollution is the cause and aggravating factor of many respiratory diseases. Although we won't immediately transition to using electric vehicles, car companies are already enticing consumers to buy it already. So for example, even the government, for example, if you try to purchase a new electric vehicle, you get a $3,000 rebate, which is crazy. So you basically get a discount for buying an electric car. So in my opinion, the best viable option of transitioning to electric energy down the road is that similarly to regulating cars now, basically car manufacturers have to at some point only produce electric cars, or they need to regulate them to the point where it just becomes there's no emissions. So consumers will eventually grow much more accustomed down the road to electric vehicles, and as soon as technology improves, this will become more of a practical vehicle than just a commodity. So the reasoning is that regardless of government intervention that's taking place, electric cars are seen as a new trend, and oftentimes when people are peer pressuring other people to buy new things, it's going to become a new thing, and combustion vehicles at some point will become obsolete. So according to the IEA, EV deployment has been growing rapidly over the past 10 years, with global stock of EVs surpassing 5 million in 2018, an increase of 63% from the previous year. So 63% growth is really big and substantial. So a reference to a practical example of electric cars transitioning is Norway again. So according to Darmody, one of the major reasons Norway is so far ahead in EV sales is its government commitment to zero emissions, and the Norwegian government set ambitious goals of setting zero emissions by 2025. So this is an example of why government intervention is also just as helpful and in being able to achieve this goal. So one of the ways of overcoming this objection is that according to Loveday, one of the reasons why people do not purchase electric vehicles, or they have the stigma, is the fact that they're kind of impractical, they're unreliable, and they have a lot of kinks that they need to be worked out. As soon as technology drastically improves in electric cars, such as the range in batteries, being able to recharge them as quickly as possible, then people will start considering buying it. And that's one of the reasons why the newer cars made by Tesla is being sold much more often, is because they're improving in battery technology. So that's being addressed. So transition, within time, we will be able to slowly transition to EVs and becoming more mainstream. So one of the positive things of transitioning to electric vehicles is that major city centers will become clean, and you don't have to worry about smog. One of the negative repercussions of not transitioning is that many cities, as they continue to develop and grow, will suffer from huge amounts of smog and pollution. In conclusion, as EVs become more mainstream, this will drastically improve other electric technologies. For example, Tesla, even though Tesla is known for producing electric batteries and everything, they're also known for in battery technology, and they're trying to constantly improve this. So one of the actions that we can take is contacting our state senators and Congress people in order to introduce a new bill of basically setting a timeline for electric vehicles. And by transitioning to electric vehicles, we can enjoy the benefits of this new technology while improving the environment. So this concludes the end of my speech.